welcome to the third episode of The Anatomy of BL. I'm Tops, aka Peanut, and I am Cubs, aka Dandelion.
So today's episode is it's
gonna be one of our heavier ones.
Yeah, it has a lot of sad, depressing themes.
Yeah. Last time we covered like the entirety of his story, which is a mixture. It has a healthy balance of like comedy.
I would say it does. And even on the sadder side of his story, like there's still some things that we can laugh about.
Yeah.
It's like even in a depressing episode, we can still make light of a lot of things, but
today, okay, some of them we're gonna be making fun of them, of course,
for sure.
Like,
I mean, like guys, it's over 3 hours. Like none are without fault. None are without pushing us.
That's true.
Like
some level of, whether intentional or not.
It's especially in these though, because they're not supposed to be, but they have done. But let's get into it.
Yeah, so we're going to be covering our melodramatic BLs today. Some of them written by gay people or gay people, because we know that typically, traditionally, like BLs are written by straight women for straight women a lot of the time.
Yeah,
not always, but too much times. Majority of the times. So yeah. Let's start with our first one. Life, Love on the Line.
So this is a Japanese drama. I'm gonna read the names. Okay, I'm gonna read the synopsis of it. So one day after school, the serious Ito, and the childlike Nishi meet by chance, as each endeavors to remain walking on the side. Oh, this was cute. Okay. Each endeavors to remain walking on the sidewalk white lines. As time goes by, Aito recognizes he is drawn to Nishi in a way that is new to him. Nishi, for his part, is frustrated that they only get to meet on the sidewalk. Aito decides to act upon his feelings and kisses a surprised Nishi, who agrees that they need to walk side by side for a change. The sparks between them are undeniable as their relationship blossoms in high school, survives the college years, and matures into adulthood. A deeply moving work that bears witness to loving partners whose unchanging feelings must coexist within a world of changing realities. So I already jumped the gun and was like, I remember this being so cute.
Yeah,
it really was. It was so jump. It is just so sweet.
It was so cute.
And the thing is, the two of them, the two main characters, Aito and Nishi, they didn't linger too long on the whole that, we both guys.
That's true.
It was a moment of what was that? But then they came back and they were like, you know what, let's do this.
Let's be in a relationship.
Because they're also two weirdos, by the way. As you read, they both then walking on the line, on a sidewalk. In case it wasn't on a sidewalk,
yeah.
There's those lines that separate the road. That's literally what they're doing, walking on the line, and it's like, what the fuck's that? If I saw you do that every day after school,
exactly. What's wrong with you, fam? What's going on?
But and literally the way they met is because they're coming from opposite directions, walking on this line, and then they get to each other and they're like, oh.
What do we do now?
I'm not stepping off this line.
Exactly.
Okay, but to get into the melodrama part of it all,
the meat of it,
and right on this category of melodrama.
What we just described was basically them meeting, which is all happening in the first episode, right? So their initial meeting is cute, as expected from high schoolers. We don't really expect much melodrama or any level of responsibility. They're high schoolers, for God's sake, right? But where the melodrama starts kicking in is when the reality of their relationship starts kicking in. At first, yes, it's cute and all, but even in... Because I remember one of the first things that they dealt with was their mismatch in terms of level of sexuality, they how far they want to go as a couple, and whatever, which is very, very realistic, right? Also, you'll notice that a part of this theme of the ones that we do today, it has a lot of realism in there.
Yeah, we also consider this the realism category.
The realism category.
Yeah.
So they had a mismatch in terms of like it, as much as their love was very cute or whatever, but the first cracks started showing when there was a mismatch in that, right? And then we go back as well and we look at Ito, right? And his relationship with his family. And now all of that starts kicking in too.
Yeah, because it just in any other traditional household in general, not just in Asia, but like it's the standard thing of, especially in Asia.
Yeah.
But it's the whole thing of like living a normal life. Like when after you graduate university, you find a girl, you marry her, you have a family, you work, and that's it. And then you die one day.
Yeah. It's simple. That's the simple way of doing it.
And that's the way his mother like was continuously drilling into him, like you're going to live a normal life. This was especially because so he has an older sister who's not living this conventional life. Like the sister is like out here traveling, she's traveling the world, she's doing what she wants to do. And the
boyfriend is not even like a Chinese man either. So Japanese.
So yeah, and like, and that is like insane for the mom. She's like, you are completely off the path, the normal path that we're supposed to all go by. You are off it completely,
and that's not acceptable in any capacity.
Exactly, and because the sister's doing that, the mom puts more pressure on the son to follow that path. Like your sister's doing all this stuff,
you're supposed to be the normal child.
Yeah,
I can't fail as a parent twice, because for her, she perceives her children not being conventional or living in this conventional way she idealizes for them as personal faith.
Yeah, she has failed as a parent.
Exactly.
Because that is just how Asian society is. Like
that's
people view, like you're not just viewed as an individual.
You're viewed as an extension of your family.
Extension of your family and extension of the society as well.
Yeah.
Like that's how everyone is viewed. So yeah, one fuck up on your end, it feels like you are literally failing
everyone.
And that's that added pressure. So that brings us to the decision he makes, which is, oh my God,
it was breaking.
The start of me crying,
bro.
Oh my God, like I started crying at this point. But basically, they dated in high school, dated through university, are dating now as adults. They're both working as adults and they're dating. There are the cracks showing in that there's differences in how they also handle situations, how they're viewing the world. The one is much more ambitious, like he wants to do different things, and the other one's like, no, but we have a stable job. Like it's fine.
We can settle for just being stable and just having what we have. Like we are not children anymore.
Yeah.
We don't really get the right
to value many. Yeah, because the other one wants to travel. Like,
exactly.
Like, he's like, no, I want to travel the world.
I want to do this. I want to do that. Like this is my child. And it's adult.
We're gonna go to work, get our job, money, and whatever. So already there's that difference between them. But then now there's this added thing of his desire to be normal. It's like I want to be normal. I want to be normal for my mom. Like
I don't want to disappoint.
And so, oh my God.
So they broke up. In the most heart-wrenching breakup scene, I think
I've seen. Like, I usually don't cry at breakup scenes. I usually get mad.
I usually get
mad. I usually be like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly.
This time around, I really understood. I was like,
I get it.
And it makes me more sad that I get it. I see what, oh my God.
Because it deals with like a very real issue that a lot of like LGBTQ people face, in that I have to live a lie in order to still have the family that I have, you know? Like I can't not live this way. Otherwise, like I'm going to be separated from my mom and from my dad. I'm going to be ostracized. I'm going to be disowned.
Yeah.
So it like dealt with that aspect of things, and it kind of like really laid out all of his fears bare in a way where it was like unyielding and unforgiving. And I think that's a part of why I felt the breakup so much, because even us as the audience, we know that he doesn't actually want to break up.
Yeah.
It's not something that he's doing because he's like, yay, like, I just wanted this relationship to end. It's like, no, I still want to be with him.
It's taking a lot out of him to...
Exactly. Like, even before they broke up, because he was like doing that whole thing of like trying to push him away and like actively trying to pull away and everything. But you could tell he wasn't doing it because he wanted to. It's out of fear. And I think that's the thing that made it like hit so hard, because I was like, yo, like you're watching this relationship deteriorate and you're like, I don't want it to deteriorate.
I get it. Like that's the thing. You don't want it to happen, but like
you understand
why it's happening. And then like, oh, so now they've broken up, and like, oh God, it's so depressing. But now we're in this realm where, okay, they're completely separate, and their lives are completely different. Ito, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he decides, okay, I'm gonna get married, and which I'm gonna get into that. But like, I'm gonna get married to a woman, and we are gonna live in a traditional household where it's like a man, a woman, we both work, we have an apartment, this is our life, my mom is going to be happy. The other guy, he never ran away from his sexuality, and that was the one, even though like whatever, like that was never a thing for him where he was like, oh no,
he never was uncomfortable or never felt the need to change his sexuality.
And living a normal life is the last thing he wanted. Like he wanted to live a life of happiness and fulfillment, and he was like, no, the way you want us to live is not like,
it doesn't align with what
it doesn't align with what I want. But he also had his own spirals, because he went into the world of like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go find a fuck buddy. Like he was like, I'm gonna go hook up with somebody and whatnot. And he was like, I don't like this either. Like I do want to be in a relationship. Like,
I want a solid relationship in the same way where it's like we are together, we are partners. Like I'm not a person who does casual flicks. I'm a monogamous person. Like I want to,
and I deserve that,
and I deserve it. Exactly. Yeah. So he spirals and he does this whole thing, and he kind of like to some degree loses himself in that. But he like wakes up and he finds himself, and he kind of just runs away because he can't really handle. He doesn't know he's confused. It was really a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot because he's dealing and he's processing and grieving this relationship.
They're both miserable. They're both miserable. Like they're in these completely separate lives, not and they're both miserable. Especially for like Aito, because he's thinking like, I should be happy. Why am I not happy? Because this is the thing that mom said is like the ultimate happiness. Like living life. Why am I not happy? But okay, so just to answer, but even though I understand everything he did, this is my pet peeve, and it's in a lot of these dramas. But like him marrying a female, knowing full well that he is not.
Why was she part of like the damage that he had to leave behind? That's where my problem lies.
Like you're not fucking up just your life, you're fucking up mine too.
Like
why would you do this? Like it's like now, like you know for a fact that you're not attracted to, you know that you can't give her what she's looking for, but you still chose to pursue her.
You're like wasting her time, you're wasting your time. And mind you, in this one, she was actually like being like, hey, I want a child.
Yes, that's the thing.
My time is running out. My biological clock is running out.
And she couldn't understand. Well, how can you give me a child? I don't understand.
He even doesn't come back home sometimes because he was to avoid having.
Like, are you cheating on me? What's going on? Exactly. There's just so many things that are so messed up with him making this choice. It's okay that you are one that is running away from all the stuff, but like, dragging her into it was just not okay.
It was fucked up.
Because all these people have this realization not when they're still young. It's like now in their 30s, 40s, now they're like, oh, okay, now I'm not. And it's like, you've already wasted my life.
Exactly. You're wasting my life too. It's not just your life that's getting wasted here. It's mine too.
I really dislike that. I dislike it the most. It's my biggest pet peeve. Fear of my... That happened to me. What am I going to do?
What do you do with that?
It's wild. It's wild. So of course, as time goes, like I say, he recognizes that he's miserable. I hate this. I don't want to live this life. I thought it would make me happy.
He's not happy.
I'm not happy. He finally goes to his mom. I mean, I think it was like mainly a conversation he had with his sister about this. It was his sister that kind of made him open his eyes to the fact that, or was it his sister's boyfriend actually?
The sister came back to the house with the boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
And the mom was like laying into her, being like, yeah, should have a gun or whatever. Snapped. He was like, no, like stop screaming at her, whatever. It was after he had, like, the sister already was aware that he was gay.
Yeah.
So he like yelled at everything, and then he was like, I'm gay.
Yeah.
I'm gay. You don't have normal kids.
Yeah. huge thing. Yeah, because he was bottling up all these emotions, and then like seeing the sister now like being treated like she was like, I can't take this.
I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, and he broke down, and I think that was when the mom was also like, oh shit, okay,
like, so you've been hurting this entire time.
Yeah,
been hurting.
I'm sorry, I didn't want that for you.
Exactly.
She actually just wanted her kids to be happy, so she perceived like she's not a bad guy. She perceives
happiness equaling having its normal state life. Because in her head as well, the reason why she's coming so hard on her kids is because of the fact that she knows that the world outside is going to be really cruel to her.
Yeah, that's very
so. For her defense mechanism is, okay, let me nip it in the bud while they're at home. Let me make sure that they have a normal household, they have a normal life, so that when they go into the outside world, nobody can bully my kids.
Yeah.
That's the place that she's coming from.
Exactly.
Where in reality, it's like, you're doing more damage. The reality is, outside in the world, they're not going to be accepted. They at least need to be accepted at home.
100%.
So she didn't really clock that. She was like, no. I'm going to destroy it while we're at home so that when they're outside,
it's a self thing not to clock. Because like at this point when he's having the snap, he is in his like late 30s. He's gone. Like, remember, they met in high school, they dated through university, they dated while they were young adults working. And then like, I think it was like around the age of 24, 25.
That's when they broke up.
Yeah, he was like, no, I need to go for a normal life, right? Because
that's my time to get married.
Yeah, because that's the time usually where people get married, start settling it down. And he was like, I can't do this anymore. Let me do this. It was in that relationship for I don't know how many years. And
it was like 10 years.
It was a long time before he finally snapped. And at that point, it's like her life, the wife's life is ruined. His life is ruined. Like, it's just so much just because of that one philosophy of like living on what is defined to be a normal life by society. Made me cry. I was crying. Crying.
And then the thing that made me cry even. I want to get those. I laid the videos later, so I'm done. Finally, I'm like already getting emotional, right? I'm crying, I'm heartbroken, I'm like, why? Oh my gosh, right? So they have the scene where they end up like meeting on this like resort on a mountain somewhere, I think in Antarctica or something, or
wherever the fucking borealis thing is, wherever that is, that's where they went.
Yeah. It wasn't in Antarctica, I think it's in the North Pole. Anyway, so they're like,
I did not do geography.
No, because I want to go one day. So
nice. I'll meet you there.
I'm about to move here. Let's reenact. So okay.
The point, he's like, no, I want my love back. He was the guy I was in love with my whole life. I am going to fight for him. I'm getting him back. Give a fuck anymore. I want him back.
Exactly.
So he's meeting up at this mountaintop, icy mountaintop.
So it's like they already had agreed prior that we're gonna go to this place one day or whatever. So he's trying to like get back in touch with him. He can't find any trace of him. Like he can't get in touch with him. He's been blocked and everything. Like he's doing his research. He's nowhere to be found. People are telling him that he left and whatever. So fine. He's like, okay, I'm gonna take my chances and go to this place because I know this is the place he always wanted to go to.
Yeah,
right. Fine, they get there, they get to the mountain, they start making up. Like it's a really emotional state.
It's so emotional,
right? But before that scene even happens, this is the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because of what the fuck? So, like I said before, last episode we were talking about her story, and we were talking about how Days Count was so traumatizing, right?
Yeah.
Like, out of basically all the dramas that we've ever watched, like that one was the one that was like the most traumatizing, right? So tell me why Hating and Yoshiku were in this thing. Tell me why these motherfuckers were in this thing.
And in case you don't know, History series is like a Taiwan series.
Yeah.
Like Love on the Line.
It's Japanese.
Completely different. Like, no correlation at fucking all.
These things are not supposed to be interconnected. We were not expecting to see them. And do you know what was the worst part, right? So after history had finished, I had done more research into like, oh, is this like, why would they like kill them off at the end, right? So I went ahead and did more research, and I realized that there was actually book versions of History 3 Million Days Cut that were being released, right? And apparently in the book, there is an alternative ending, right, in History, where Yoshigu does not die. The only, which means, but it put it down for me even more that his death was unnecessary. Like, he didn't need to die for the story, like,
completely unnecessary.
So anyway, so what I did that researcher was already angry. And then when we see this scene in Life, Love on the Line, that scene in the book, it came back to me because it played out exactly the same way.
It's the exact same fucking scene.
It's the exact scene.
Them watching the Aurora Borealis, it's pronounced, together, like standing in the snow. Because even in the original History Make Our Days Count, outside of the alternate ending, they wanted to go. Like, it was a whole thing of like, I really want to go there. Like, why did they take me there? It was a cute moment, like, fun and fresh. So seeing them there, it was just, my guy, jarring. Dude, I stopped crying for a split second. I literally stopped crying for a split second to be like, who the fuck are those people? Because it's no ways it's you should and no,
there's no way it's there. It's not dating. I was like,
no, like I clearly still have trauma. I still like think about them all the time. That's not them. That's not them. It's a fucking Japanese trauma. Why are they there?
And then he turns around and it's like,
and it's him. And it's him wearing the fucking red scarf, his iconic scarf.
And the iconic scarf, it's him.
And then, like, I literally stopped crying just to break down even further. Like, you don't understand. The last two episodes, or last 3 episodes of Life, Love on the Line, I was just crying through them the entire time. That was because it was just depressing. So at that point, like, I was just like, I was done. I was like, the story's almost finished. I'm done. Do that. Like, only 3 minutes left. Like, exactly. They're gonna get together and that's it. Why did they throw in? Like, I literally,
I will never forget that moment where I was like, I think I was laying in bed. I remember it so vividly. I was laying in bed and I was like, there is no way.
I paused, guys, and I was like, that's not him. Even when he turned around and I saw his face, I was like, that's not him. There's no way. That doesn't make sense. He's strong. I had to even go to Google. I was like, I need somebody to tell me I'm crazy. I need God to tell me I'm crazy. I need somebody to say, Tops, no, you're hallucinating.
You're just traumatized. You're still waiting from the place of trauma. It was them, though. It was them, and it's confirmed. It's canon.
Yeah, it is canon.
It's canon.
It's the alternate fucking universe.
It's the alternate universe.
Oh, by the way, even this Life, Love on the Line. Even they have, this is their alternate.
The drama is the alternate,
because in the original, they didn't get together. Basically, they both just grow old, and die, and
they meet. Like, I think where death takes them.
Yeah,
where they meet on like a riverbed in death.
Yeah,
after they died,
because the guy actually never came to the realization that. I mean, he might have actually come to the realization, but they never got to reconcile. Yeah, he never actually put in action where he was like, I'm gonna divorce this lady. It was like, I am miserable, but I will continue to live this
normal life,
traditional, quote unquote, normal life. Where are we putting her? Like, there's so many, like, okay, listen, the only thing I didn't like about it was Yoshikin, but it was an amazing trauma. And I don't think it's fair to blame our trauma on that.
That's the thing, though, because, like, even the whole, like, sequence of events, like, the montage that they played of them growing older at the very end, that was so sweet. I loved everything about it. Like, they got the happy ending. They dealt with really, like, heavy topics within it, and, like, perception of society and yourself and how that plays into each other. Like, they dealt with really, really heavy topics, and they dealt with them well, because everything was confronted at the end. So I can't fault them for flipping Midland days count. I can't.
Yeah. It's not like, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
The director, there's a bone I need
to talk to the director.
Talk to you.
Because why the fuck
why did you do that? Other than that,
I wouldn't change a thing.
I also wouldn't change a thing. So that makes it super superior.
That makes it super superior. I also wouldn't, I genuinely would not change it. It's just a personal qualm.
Wow, Japan is dominating that tier.
Super superior. Oh, yeah, it's only Japanese ones so far. Damn, Japan, you're doing well.
You're doing very, very well.
You're doing really well. Yeah, we put it there mainly because of the fact that everything they did it well. Yeah, and even the intention of the drama was fulfilled very fucking
chemistry.
The
actors did amazing. But honestly, there is really nothing to fault,
literally,
about it.
So, super superior it is. Next, we have Red Balloon.
Red Balloon. They're gonna have to take a... What country is this again?
Red Balloon is Taiwan.
Okay, we're gonna have to take a little trip to Taiwan for Red Balloon. The synopsis goes as follows.
Yep.
Chen is a hardworking student who has a troubled past with his mother's death and his father being a gang leader. One day, Wan, a transfer student, becomes Chen's roommate. However, Wan is hiding a secret. He's gay. As the boys' friendship deepens, so do their feelings for one another. But the boys' relationship faces opposition from their classmates, Chen's father, and most importantly, their own self-doubt.
Yeah. Okay. This one. Gosh, where do I even start with this one? Where do we start?
Let's have to find a point to start at.
So the way the Red Balloon is structured, it's structured in present day, and then it goes back to the past in the second episode.
Yeah.
So, because each of the episodes is about 10 minutes long. So the present day is the first 10 minutes, and then from there it goes back to the past. It shows us how we got to where we are.
Yeah.
So,
present day, just like life, love on the line.
They're not together.
Yeah, they're not together. Who is it? Chen. He got married. He also went traditional normal life. He got married, had a daughter, and
wasted his wife's life.
Wasted his. It starts with them actually talking about their divorce.
Yeah.
Signing the papers and her being
I literally had a private investigator follow you because you're not touching me when we're at home.
And then I thought you were cheating.
I thought you were cheating. And all that I know is the fact that, hey, you go to this field and you watch the grass while you were there by yourself. And I don't understand why. Why will you not show me intimacy? You don't actually love me, and I'm coming to that realization, and it hurts me. And I found out about your past. I saw you. Basically, what happened is the fact that she saw these past lovers interacting, and she was like, he doesn't look at me like that.
Yeah. It's so very clear that there's something there.
There's something
I can see it.
He's much more passionate about him than he is about me.
It's a literal 5-minute conversation. Why is he showing more emotion than he has in the span of our entire marriage? That was her realization that, oh, fuck, okay.
You're still in love with this person. That's the only conclusion I could come to. And he doesn't deny it. He's like, shit.
Yeah, you got me.
He caught me red-handed. So we go back to the past and we see the build-up of their relationship. It's flipping cute.
Yeah, how they met in high school. Yeah, how they were there for each other. It really was cute. It was cute.
It was very cute. The relationship from when they met each other, how they got together, and even how they got to the point where they got separated. So okay, we need to talk about this. How they got separated in the first place. So these two got together, and for some stupid reason, they decided they were gonna make out in the living room.
By the way, I mentioned that the dad's a gang leader, right?
Yeah.
In the synopsis, but dad is a gang leader, ruthless gang leader, also homophobic, bigoted, very that kind of guy. Chen knows his dad is this kind of person, but then
he knows his dad doesn't have a 9 to 5.
he knows his dad doesn't have a 9 to 5. That's the thing. He knows dad is going to be home anytime. It's his dad.
Exactly. Why did you make out on the couch?
Why were you making out on the couch with your boyfriend?
He could come back home at any moment.
And he did.
And exactly. He called at you and he flipped. He flipped his script and he was like, no ways. Separated them completely. Chen was locked, but it was basically Rapunzel.
He was basically Rapunzel. The dad locked him up, had bodyguards guarding him. Bro, it was Fiona. It was Fiona locked in the towel.
Legit.
It was like, nah.
Because the boyfriend's response was like, hey, I love you, but I realize that our relationship has such a bad consequence on you that I don't want to.
Hang on, can you just take it back a beat? I'm so sorry.
But
I forgot to mention a thing. But like, prior to them dating, the whole backstory of one, boyfriend, and him being okay. And him being okay. And he being a transfer student. The reason he transferred to the same school Chen was at was because at his previous school, he was in a relationship with his PE teacher.
A high school student was in a relationship.
Does everyone call it PE?
I think.
Oh, am I?
I don't know.
Gym teacher for any Americans or
Americans. I think Americans are the ones who call it PE.
No, we call it PE.
Is it?
We don't call it gym. What's that? Yeah, we call it PE. Physical education. Yeah, I think they call it gym class.
Are you sure?
Did we call it PE for sure? I've never said I'm going to gym.
We don't say gym class, but we're like, oh, I'm going to like.
Dude, we call it PE, LOPE.
We didn't have NOP. We had like, what was it called again? It wasn't PE though. It was LO Sports. That's what we called it.
Oh yeah. Hang on.
Yeah. I think it's the American thing.
No ways, dude. I think we called it PE too.
You're out of confidence.
Yeah. That's completely out. PE or gym teacher. But having a relationship with him, and that's the reason he transferred.
Yeah.
Tell me, why was the gym teacher not in jail?
Tell me why this man, a pedophile, a whole statutory rapist, was not in jail.
Why were we hopping on the fact that it was two men doing something and not the fact that it was an adult teacher with a student, an underage student?
Why was his girlfriend sitting there saying, you need to separate from him, like, you guys won't be together, you need to tell him that you are mine. Girl, you are with a statutory rapist.
Look at your boyfriend. You have the student. It doesn't matter if it was a male or female.
That is the point.
How was he just quitting his job and not being arrested? Like, I don't get it. And that fit my sweat, and I didn't understand.
Did nobody tell the higher authorities at school?
Why haven't nobody cared? Even when one finally told Chen, like, oh.
And like, Chen made a big deal about it.
Chen was like, alright.
He was like, oh, that's your past. And even like when they went to on another date, he was like, oh, did your PE teacher bring you here? Like, that doesn't matter. He got statutorily raped, and that's your concern.
There's so many issues here. He's older than him. There's that power imbalance of him being a teacher and him being a student.
Even in university, you wouldn't be allowed. No. Listen, I'm in my 20s. Even at my big age, if I met one of my professors right now and I decide, oh, my lecturers, and I was like, hey, let's take, even my 80s, people who are less than 5 years older than me, literally people who are trainees.
I thought you're talking about 80.
No. Not 80, but it's like the academic, like, trainees,
80,
right? The 80s. Like, the ones who are still working towards becoming people who are less than 3-4 years older than me.
Ethical, like that.
They're not allowed in university policy. It's because there's the power imbalance. It does not matter even if they're not in the same faculty. There is a power imbalance. The university recognizes it, and we're like, no.
It's so hard. No.
Exactly. Literally, if you want to date a lecturer, they're like, it's not allowed at all. If you want to date an AT, right, you need to be putting in a letter to the university. You need to ask permission. Or you finish your studies and then you date later on.
All that stuff, and then in this drama, they just like, nah.
And this is a high schooler. With a teacher. A grown-ass teacher who went to university, finished his degree, and came back and became a teacher.
He was grown. Grown.
Youngest he could have been was in his 20s.
Youngest. 25.
Youngest.
Yeah. It was wild.
Bro.
They did that. They glossed over it. Nobody cared. Pissed me off.
Yo.
But I just had to touch on that a little because...
What the hell?
But anyways, as you were saying with this couple, they had their cute little relationship. They fucked it up by making out. Guys, never do that.
Never do that.
Maybe if you're white, I think maybe like, no offense, but I think maybe like if you're white, you can't get away with it.
Yeah.
But like any
POC,
no. My mom would put my ass. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what you're making out with. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Like she's gonna take off her shoe and beat me with it, and then ask me to pick up the belt to beat myself.
Exactly.
No,
I might just beat my ass. Like, don't do that, dude.
Like I might get kicked out. Like there's just no ways. Like guys,
it doesn't matter.
There's places you can do this. They had a lot of places. They could have done it in the bedroom where they had time to like
the door.
They could have done it in the dorm that they shared together. They could have done it like at like they could have found a spot out there.
Anywhere.
They went to the clubs together, man, to chill.
A gay club. They went to a gay club even.
They do it there.
I don't understand either.
Like, it just annoys me so much. But anyway, he was locked up in a tower now because of that. Like the dad locked him up and was like, "You are never gonna leave the house." And because they were still, because the dad was like, "I don't want you to ever see this person again.
Like you're never gonna see him again.
Never see him again. No dazzles, no letters between one another, nothing." And my God. Anyways, that made his life miserable. So then that's when one was like, "No, I'm just gonna cut this off and end it because I would rather us be separated than you
have your freedom taken away."
Yeah.
So he was like, no, ending it now because I don't want to be the reason why you have a miserable life. And right now it feels like I'm the reason. So I'm going to separate from you. And that was hard. But there's this whole other subplot that's going on with one of the, I think he is the only one, actually, the only openly gay student.
Openly gay,
right? And he's being hectically bullied, right?
It's insane bullying.
It's actually insane. Like they're punching him in the alleyways and hitting him. They are pouring water over him.
They're terrorizing him. There's not a moment of time in school where he's not, or outside of school, because like
literally
said, in the alleyways, where he's not being terrorized by these people for the sheer fact that he's existing as an open gate.
Exactly.
Guy.
So, and the only people that are like standing up for him in this entire school are like the girls. He's going to the headmaster of the school and he's telling him, no, just be normal. Like, if you dress like the other boys, if you like stop trying to be so effeminate, if you stopped trying to do all these things, all of this will stop. Instead of actually helping.
The headmaster was trash.
Literally, instead of helping the student who is in distress from being bullied, his approach is change everything about yourself and the bullying will stop. And even when like he says this to the headmaster is like, you're not going to run the school better than me. He gets angry at him.
Yeah.
And instead of
for asking for basic rights,
for asking for respect,
literally just asking for respect, like, can you just stop the bullying?
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand. Like, the concept was very simple. Like, I'm getting bullied. Stop the bullying. Post rules and put it in place so that I don't get bullied. Who just exist as I am. And the headmaster's like, no, you just don't be different anymore.
Don't be different anymore.
Stop being who you are, like, and change, and then you won't get bullied.
Exactly.
What the fuck are you on about? Also, that was a stupid plan because he's already openly gay. Even if he started now to as hyper,
it's not going to change anything.
Yeah, they know he's gay.
knows he's gay.
Like, what are you saying?
He just needs to be protected. Like, his identity is out. It's out. There's nothing that they can do about it.
It was just stupidity. It was stupidity, like fake stupidity. But of course, like, it was hectic, it was really depressing and hard to watch, but it kept escalating to the point where the student felt like he had no other way out but to end his own life.
No, but he started off by sending this letter to, what was his name again?
Chen.
So
he waited. So Chen's dad is not only like a gangster, but like as a side hustle. His side hustle, being normal and being like the chairman of the school.
It is a very powerful person.
That's how Chen is it. Yeah, right. He's got connections, got it all. So this kid is like, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna go past my headmaster and go to the chairman of the school. So he gave Chen the letter and begged and was like, listen, please do this for me.
Give your dad this letter so maybe I can give some help. And Chen, because he knows his dad, doesn't passed the letter on. I think initially it's because he got distracted with the relationship.
Yeah. He read it. The Chen was very, like, people were handing Chen letters. No, and he was forgetting about that.
Because even with the girl who tried to confess to him, she handed him a letter. He forgot about it. He never got back to her. So until she came in and
was like, hey, did you forget all of that?
So he hands Chen this letter. Chen forgets about it, like goes on about his merry way. And nothing gets resolved. And he was also hesitant to give his dad that letter because he knows his dad. His dad is not... he knew already that his dad was homophobic.
Yeah.
So he was like, I'm not going to send the letter. Like, there's pretty much no use.
Yeah.
So by the time he even thought about sending the letter again, he was locked up. And because he was locked up, that kid tried to commit suicide.
Yeah.
And by jumping, like at the school, like jumping off of one of the buildings at school, luckily he does survive. But because Chen's dad was like he got scared by that idea of the fact that his son, that could be his son one day, because he knows that his son is gay at this point.
Yeah.
He's like, yo, I need to take action. And he ends up like getting the headmaster fired, and like
the only thing he did in this drama that was a good thing.
One thing. So he was because he was still operating from the place of like, he operated in the same place that the mom from Life Love on the Line operated from, with like, I need to destroy it for them so that when he goes into the outside world, he doesn't get.
But his was like I think his was a little more nefarious than the monk, because his whole thing was that I'm the mafia.
Oh yeah, how am
I supposed to face them when they know that I have a gay son?
That's so
him. It was also selfishness. Yeah, his was selfish. Like the mom, I think it was a lot of selflessness that he was operating. Because he was thinking of himself. He was like, no, how do I face people? How do I whatever? That's true. Because it's not like he didn't love his son, because obviously like that whole thing of that kid attempting to commit suicide,
it scared him to
the point where he was like, fuck, this happens to my son, what am I going to do? But not enough that he was willing to make his son be happy.
True.
Because he still had that selfishness inside of him where it was
reputation mattered more,
which is just something we see a lot of actually in general, where people
that's true
who place their reputation above their own kids. It sucks.
Right.
But now we have to fast forward back into the future. He's grown, and his dad has Alzheimer's.
Early set. And the early onset Alzheimer's. And
the dad forgets most things. The one thing that he doesn't forget is that his son is gay. And he's still living in the memory that the son is still seeing the one from back then. So he constantly shouts at him and is like, you're not seeing that boy again. Or that's such a white. Like, you're not seeing that boy again, are you? And all that stuff. And Chen, to appease his dad, because at some point the dad takes out a gun and he was like, I'll shoot you. Let me shoot myself. I want to die. I want to die for you. Exactly. Not that like just people knowing that he has a gay son. It's like, oh my god, I'm a gang leader and all that stuff. And then Chen, feeling like he has no other choice, he does, but whatever. Feeling like he has no other choice besides like, okay, I'll get married. Married to a woman. I have a child. I'll live this whole life. And that's the only thing that calms his dad down.
Yeah.
Now with Chen, that was not the only way.
And again, like we said before, he wastes this woman's life and time.
This woman's life and time. Like pretending to be straight, and it's not even pretending. It's just like he didn't even pretend, because he wasn't loving her.
Loving her.
It was a miserable relationship.
She was miserable the entire time.
Because she was like, why isn't, like, I think the only time they were probably intimate was to have the child.
Yeah.
And before and after that, it was just like, no, you clearly don't love me. That's why I'm out here getting
investigators like, are you cheating on me? What are you doing? Like, why will you not touch me?
Bro. What he could have done, the first thing he could have done was just get rid of all the weapons in the household, because the dad is not threatening. Like, he's the caretaker of his dad.
Exactly.
Because, like we said, the dad has
early onset Alzheimer's.
Yeah, so it's not like the dad can function on his own.
He can't lead up the mafia anymore anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So just get rid of all the weapons that the dad, like, just treat him as a child.
Exactly.
As you would treat a child, you would get rid of dangerous objects near him.
Exactly.
Same thing with the dad. He's like, take care of him in that way. And then he also has Alzheimer's, so it doesn't matter what bullshit you say to him, he's gonna forget.
He's gonna
So
say
even if you say now, I'm gonna get married and have a child, that will appease him now, but it's
Just
fine.
keep saying that.
Saying that you don't actually have to do it.
Exactly.
But the dad then just dies. Like, dude, like, the dad is already old. You are already
He's gonna die eventually.
Come on, like this was the best. You were in the ideal situation.
Bro, you don't have to waste somebody else's time. Like, you are being extra for no reason. I don't.
So, like we said, it starts with them getting a divorce. After the divorce, he gets back with Juan. Like, Chen and Juan, like, meet up, and I guess now they're gonna be together. But it's like,
you have to say something though. I do like the fact that even in the divorce, she was like, you know what? I don't blame you for being gay, but God forbid, I'm taking everything.
yeah,
She was like, you wasted my time, my energy, my youth, my everything. I'm taking everything. And he was just like, you know what? Yes, that's understandable.
he was like, oh, you can take him.
He's like, you can take everything because I did waste your time. I did waste everything.
So much all the time, and they're grown adults now, and it's like, it's such a sad story because it's like, what were we talking about? Right? Where you understand the reason why they do the thing, but I do have to say, in this one more than ever, Chen had other
alternatives. He didn't have to go through that event.
yeah, and it just, I really dislike the whole dragging women into it because
Same.
it's not like you're just making them miserable, because it's not just that you were lying, but like throughout the marriage she was miserable.
She was miserable, but she stayed, bro. She stayed because she loved you.
Yeah, she was like, no, I love you and I'll stay. Like, there must be something else that's going on. They make an investigation, but
Maybe I'm the problem,
oh my god, it's just so sad.
bro.
Let's wrap it up because there's other dramas now.
These other dramas, we have like 3 more.
Where do we put her?
Okay. For me, the thing is, I don't know if I want to tank it because of his action.
No, I would not.
I would.
Not tank it to the point where it goes.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
It just by default, they exiled from Super Superior, from the ship of that whole thing. Like, like something I would change. I would 100% change.
That's true.
That thing, because it didn't need to happen. Like in the other one,
At least it was justified in that he was trying to, like, his mom did not have early onset of
like, no bullshitting that.
There's no
bullshit. Ask, where's the wife? You can ask and you can be like, oh, she's at work. And all right. And then that would be it.
Yeah, that's true. He had altered.
Like, he had a cop out. Like, the craziest cop out of cop out.
I think if he didn't have a cop out, then I wouldn't punish it. But he did. He did have a cop out.
And that's a knockdown. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll put it. Okay, it's either superior or very good. They did do their best, but she does have something that we would change.
Yeah.
So I think very good.
It's a very good drama.
Appropriate. It's a very good drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's when the Grey Rainbow.
Right. So the next one that we have, we're going to Thailand. It's Grey Rainbow.
Oh, we usually
have a government name. Called by the government name.
We typically don't travel as much, but there's a lot of traveling we're doing today.
That's
anyway,
true.
Oh, it's a short synopsis. Okay. Grey Rainbow tells the love of Noor and Porsche.
The first Porsche.
The first Noor and the first Porsche.
Yeah. We watched this before. Secret Crush on You and Game Boy.
Yeah.
We watched it a long time
ago. It's an oldie. Noor is the son of an owner of an elephant camp, while Porsche is a law student. In university, they were dormitory roommates and close friends, each fighting against the feeling that one has with the other. Interesting. It's like one of those, like, kind of age story, and like, we have to just like label the framework.
Yeah.
Stories where it's like, they're roommates. They clearly have this like underlying attraction to one another.
Porsche. It starts off with Porsche having the crush.
Yeah.
Crush on what is it? Noor.
No, and Noor having a girlfriend.
Yeah, Noor has a girlfriend. Porsche has a crush on Noah, but he kind of is just conceding it because he's just like, hey, you know what? Like, I have my friendship. I don't necessarily want to ruin that friendship. Yeah, like I'll take what I can get, basically. And oh God, there's a lot that happens. So okay, first episode is just the build up. It's more of like showing us what's going on or whatever. Second episode, this is the way I'm approaching it because I feel like having the structures gonna help quite a lot because there's a lot going on. Second episode is where like Portia's girlfriend Jane, right? Jane starts noticing that Noah has this underlying care for Porsche that seems a little bit too intimate. So for her, she's starting to have doubts about their relationship. She's kind of like questioning what was going on here. I feel why am I either on an equal level or below? Like it's like why when it's time to prioritize, it's either you considering both of us or I'm being taken as like the second consideration
when I'm your girlfriend and he's just your roommate.
Exactly. Like this is weird. What is happening here? And then I think they broke up. They broke up at the end of the third episode. Not even like no, the second episode.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Like I was in the middle of the second episode. Noah and Jane broke up, and because when they went to that trip or whatever, and Jane kept like picking up on like what's happening.
Fair enough, but like, I feel like we like skipping a large thing.
Like about it, then.
Oh, okay. Throughout this whole thing, right? And I thought off with them talking about the rights of people in same-sex relationships.
I was gonna say that way later.
It has to play in now because like this happens before they break up.
That is true.
Okay, the thing that I want to mention, but in basically their rights in the sense of like, okay, getting married, having kids, you know, and then how the society views them in a certain way, all that jazz. There's this one time in particular now where Porsche is walking home late alone, and he gets sexually assaulted, right? And the first person he calls out, the first person he reaches out to is Noah, because like it's kind of like his safe place.
Yeah.
And I think on that night when that happened, that's where he first not neglected, but like left Jane.
Yeah.
That was the first time when she was like, why am I taking backseat? Yeah, why am I taking backseat? She didn't understand obviously the concept, but that's the first time when she had that whatever
thought.
And that was a bonding moment for Noah and Porsche as well, because now it was just a bond. I just need to lay the framework of where they got to. By the time they got to the breakup, what happened? They're not just, they are friends and roommates, but they have this added bonded level of whatever chemistry, because it's like this traumatic thing happened to Porsche, and the person that was there for him, comforting him, and also subsequently like fighting for him was Noah. So yeah, now we at the breakup. Can I just rant though about her, like the way she went about it, Jane? Like, Jane, was seeing another guy while seeing
the whole time.
Seeing her classmate. And here's the thing though, if you see him and you know you want to break up with Noah at this point, she already considered like, fuck, this guy is neglecting me. I don't want to be with him. Why did she invite him on the trip?
I don't know. That is also a mind-boggling question that I also want answered. Why did they go to the trip if she knew she was already in a place where she was like,
she invited him and the guy she thinks he's into. She invited both Noah and Porsche, knowing that she has been sussing that there's something going on there.
Exactly.
And she's cheating on the side. Why? Like, just break up with him. Why invite her?
I feel like she was
then on the trip. Then she was like, oh, bro. What type thing?
You know what I think it was? For me, right? I think what was happening was that maybe she was trying to assess which one is the better relationship for her. Like, what is shitty behavior? It's shitty behavior. It is shitty behavior. She was being very shitty.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how can you bring your side piece? Your side piece who knows that you're in a relationship with this man, right?
I should also have some respect for himself. What of that?
What new?
That's the thing. Like, that's like, why are you also not being like,
I'm not why? Jane, come on. I like you, but come on.
I want to get on this trip with your boyfriend. Bro, you gotta still boyfriend and
You're
girlfriend.
technically still dating. Why am...
They were also not being tough. There was the time we were like together flirting outside, and then Porsche saw them.
And I like, he didn't really say,
Yeah, he was like,
he was like, this none about this. I was not dealing with this. He was like, but like, Jane was like acting, she was like doing cynical shit. Like,
yeah, it was weird. It was weird. She told him, I agree with how she's viewing the entire situation.
yeah.
Everything is fine, but
But you're also cheating.
yeah, but you're also cheating. That's the thing where I'm like, no, I wish you just would have just broken
Yeah.
and got it with what?
Exactly.
Okay, now that I've wrapped that up, we can proceed with the rest of the story.
Okay, so they break up and of course Noah and Porsche are now together. They have their first intimate, like they actually sleep together that like while they're on the trip still. And I was like, wow, you guys were fast.
Keanu Joel into each other. I didn't hesitate. He was like, you know what, she's right.
He was literally like the only thing that was holding me back from being with him was Jane.
Yeah.
So they sleep together, but once they get back to Bangkok at this point, now Noah is like avoiding him and he's like, what the hell's going on? They have a whole fight. By the way, Noah is into boxing, so they end up like actually boxing
each other, yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what trumps them having an actual conversation where like Noah is like, you know what, I was afraid. I'm afraid, not I was afraid.
Yeah,
I am afraid. I am afraid of what this means. I'm afraid of how now I'm supposed to be treating you, whatever, but I concede I can't avoid you anymore. I'm in love with you. I tried avoiding you. I'm completely in love.
Because I mean, in Noel's defense, right? So like he at this time in the back of in the back of the mind thing.
Yeah.
He knows that he sees Porsche in a different way. He knows that I know I'm not seeing you as a roommate friend, but I have a girlfriend, you know? And then right after he breaks up with the girlfriend, that's when they hook up.
Yeah.
So there's no time for him to actually process the stuff. So the whole thing of like him backing away, it is. I get it. It's like there was in between the breakup, hooking up, all that stuff. It's like
everything is happening a little bit too fast. Like he needs time to actually step away from everything, process it,
and then come back and be like, you know what? Yeah,
I concede.
I'm in love with you.
I'm in love with you.
I thought
I wasn't. I thought I could avoid it. I can't. I am completely in love with you.
Until we're not together.
Not together. We get into the third episode. It's all sweet and shit. They finish university, or rather, did Noah finish before? Or I think he did.
I think he did. Was he like first? I think it was now. Yeah, I don't know. Finished first, went back to his family. Elephant farm, and then Noah was just finishing up with his law degree. Porsche finishes up his law degree. Now a lawyer. Like, let me visit my food. He said I should come over.
He's not exactly a lawyer yet.
He's not. It's just
he has a law degree, but he has to go to law school to get his to actually like get the bar exam and everything. But he like has a goal fight with his dad. He's like, nah, I don't want to let your dream anymore. I'm out. I'm going to help my friend look like the elephant farm because none of them are out yet at this point. So they go there and
they're pretending to be friends.
But one of the people that work there catches them out, like I think it's the first night.
They were like, I'm sorry, and they even were sending letters to one another. Like,
and she like catches one of the letters and she's like, oh my god, this is so sweet.
She's sleeping for them.
But the problem is the fact that now the mom picks up on the fact that the person that works there is also like acting like this, like being a little bit giddy. So she's like, why are you being giddy? What's going on? And she's like, give me the letter. And then she sees it and she's like, oh shit, they're not friends. That makes sense. Exactly. So now they have a whole confrontation where Noah's family, the dad is much more accepting initially than the mom is, because the mom is like, she's having a harder time processing it. Which normal, understandable. And because of this, it doesn't all go bad, because the mom even says it herself, like, I'm operating from a place of caring for you. I don't want to push you away as myself. Like, cause it even, this scene made me laugh. But you know I'm sorry, but you know the morning where after like everything happened, right, in the morning after, where Portia's talking to like Noah's dad and Noah's mom, and they're eating breakfast together.
Oh yeah.
I was like, why would Portia not, like, why would Noah have to have breakfast?
I don't care if you're brooding about it.
I'm high and dry.
In such a, like an awkward position, I was like at the table there, and it's like, these are not my parents.
How did I do?
I know how hectic the situation is. It's because they just found out we're dating.
They just found out we're dating. Their dad is just like, no. Portia's a good kid, because up until now, this is not something we didn't mention before, but like he's been helping them out. And, there's also another situation with somebody trying to like hog the river. And
That's just
whatever.
I'm not even going to get
We're not going to get in the far point, but like he's been very helpful and like moving things along with litigation, and like it's a law situation, right? So he's thinking already like, this kid is a good kid. I don't really have a problem. But the mom is where the issue lies, because she's like, she's still like a bit on the fence. But then it leads to a confrontation between mother and son, and they kind of get to a mutual understanding.
Yeah.
But then, Portia's parents end up coming.
Yeah, like we finally like told, Noah's parents are saying, but now we have to bring the second set of parents.
The second set of parents, where we know that Portia doesn't really have the best relationship with his dad, and
yeah, as it is.
Yeah. And the way that he came out, Nohan,
They were having breakfast when he was like, Dad, so I'm gay, and the dad's like, what did you say? And he was like,
I'm gay, I'm not saying Noah.
I don't think Noah. And they were at the table like,
And it's something everybody, like,
everyone, and like the dad like lost his shit.
of course.
The dad lost his shit. Yeah, and he got really, really angry.
Like, what the bullshit?
And the dad even like, I'm not even fast forward. The dad had a heart attack. It was a whole thing. Like everybody was like, it was a whole thing. It was dramatic as well. But because oh my god, we can't spend so much time on these dramas. But
We need fast forward.
Dad had a heart attack. But because of that, and even at the moment,
The mom chose his side.
Yeah.
She was like, nah,
that's my son. And she was even saying that, like, if you're not going to accept him, like, I'm leaving too. We'll both leave. Because the dad in Red Balloon, it was a whole reputation thing. Like, I'm not going to face people, no, and I have to sign and all that stuff. And the mom was like, since we are the screw ups and all that stuff, me and my son will leave and whatever. And then the dad wasn't fully accepting by the end of it. It wasn't a thing of like the dad was like, okay, I'm
all
okay.
of a sudden, they didn't even show up at the wedding.
Yeah, he wasn't at the wedding. The dad was like, I need time. The dad was like, I'm gonna leave because I need time. So it was left very open ended, and like we said, there was a wedding that took place, and the dad wasn't there.
Before the wedding, though, Jane did end up coming back. Good old
Jane, yeah,
came back. She came back. She has a child. She got with Watt's kid. Watt apparently, when he found out that she's pregnant, decided to leave her because he's like a conduit.
Yeah.
Her family was like, it's shameful that you got pregnant and you're not married, so they disowned her. So while she's there at the resort, she ends up like contracting deadly disease. Jane dies. Yeah. That was not funny.
It was not funny, but
she died. And it's like, now, like, these two adopt Jane's kid, right?
I thought the whole reason, so my whole thing was like, okay, I guess the writers want them to have an adopted, because they kept talking about family.
Warren
kept talking about how they want a family, they want a little dog, and all that stuff. So Jane dying, I was like, okay, I guess the writers wanted
them to have, and I was like, okay,
yeah, cool.
That's okay, that's fine.
All right, fine. But then they have their wedding.
They have the wedding, and keep in mind throughout this entire series of being seen like journal entries in like written from Portia's perspective, right? Where he'll like write things, and they're all counting down, right?
There's timestamps there, and you're like,
what do they mean, right? And you don't think much about them.
You really don't, because it comes out of nowhere.
It comes out of nowhere. It comes at random times, and you get to the ending, and it all of a sudden makes sense, right? I remember the first time I watched this. Right, I was at home. And I was watching it in the living room. My was like, no, like, cause like my parents weren't home, and I think they had gone for the whole day, and they were like, oh no, we're gonna come back tomorrow. I was like, what's my chance? So I binge watched the whole thing, the whole day. I spent my whole day, my entire day binge watching this motherfucker, right? Sitting in the living room on the big screen TV, I remember this moment because it happened after midnight. I was determined to finish this show.
You're like,
I'm not sleeping before I finish this. I'm too attached to these characters. I must see this through. The clock struck 0. He paused time. That moment where he like paused time.
Yeah, when you snapped his finger, what the hell's going on here?
That was like, I remember the first time I watched it. He paused time, and I was like, oh, what was this? What is this about? Right, dude? And then he like turned to him, and I'm like, oh, is it like a moment where they're gonna be like, oh, after all we've been through, like, I learned how to appreciate our relationship, like it's everything, right? And then I started. Grey Rainbow was the first traumatic BL that I ever watched. There's a reason why I watched it that one time, and then the second time I watched it was in preparation for this. But literally, like, he started monologuing, right? As he was like turning, like the voiceover monologuing. And I'm seeing what he's saying in that monologue, and I'm like, no ways.
I wouldn't disbelieve. I also think that there's no way they're going to do this.
There's no way to have died.
This is the last 10 minutes.
We're left with 10 minutes.
I've already gone through the grey part of the fucking rainbow throughout this whole time.
Jane was the grey.
Yeah, Jane was the grey.
She died.
They had to fight for their relationship, coming out to their parents, all that.
Jane was the grey. Man, there's so much shit we fix.
How we at the rainbow portion of it.
Exactly. So I see the monologue, and in the monologue he's saying things like, oh, we learn how to value all our time together, and like, even if like when we part, and what I'm like, there's no way.
What are you saying?
What are you saying? What do you mean even when we part? What are you talking about? There's no way. So he turns time back on. Noah has a major heart attack, and he dies.
Right then and there. Jane at least lived for a couple of weeks before she died. This man's died instantly.
At his wedding,
while they're taking the wedding photo, the last wedding photo, like the whole, like, oh, we married now.
We just got legally married. They took these things to the. You got fucked up. You got me all the way fucked up. Like, after, mind you, Grey Rainbow is not the easiest drama to get through as it is. It deals with extremely sensitive topics. It deals with interpersonal relationships in a very, very heavy way. It's unforgiving. It's unrelenting. It's very melancholy at times. It's not even has sweetness.
It's grey as fuck.
It's grey as hell. Like, from the beginning, it is the most, like, if you aren't in an emotionally stable place, do not watch this fucking show. There's no comfort. Like, it's so uncomfortable at times.
So tell me why they decided to kill him at the end. Like, we'll find out the darkness, and we're like, oh my god, a happy ending. And like, why couldn't we get
why did he die?
It really didn't. Like, in all these other dramas, we kept like, I don't know if you noticed, but we kept saying, we understand why this happened, we understand why, but why the hell did he have to die then?
It was senseless.
What did it have to do with anything?
It was senseless.
Why did both him and Jane have to die? Like, what were we saying?
It was senseless.
Like, even Jane dying, I was like, whatever. But like, now why did he
have to die too?
So what are we saying? There's no happy ending?
Okay. No, that's what you're happy ending with the gays.
Because the happy ending was that because like I said at the beginning, they were talking about how they want, gay couples want the right to get married.
Have the right to happy family.
Thailand laws were not like
they were not accepted.
They were not accepting all that stuff. So like they want to get married, they want to have kids and all that stuff. And so at the end, they signed their marriage. They're getting married. They finally getting what they've been.
Bro,
only for him to die. And I'm like, why? I don't understand. Because they also adopted Jane's child. So it was like a fool. It was a fool thing.
They had a family.
Literally all they've been asking for, only for them to die. Fuck it. Touch-ups. Needs touch-ups. Yeah.
Touch-ups. Because like, died.
I'm sorry, it would have been higher if he just didn't die at the end. Or at least an understanding of why he died at the end, but no,
it's senseless. It was a senseless death. I don't like it. This thing traumatized me so much. Like, literally yesterday, even when we were doing this and like watching it in preparation, I literally even sent Tom's video of me crying. I was sobbing, and I hated myself for sobbing because I knew what the ending was before I even got there, and it still fucking broke me. Like, yeah, okay, moving on. I can't do this. I can't do this. OK Bangkok.
Yes, you know. So season 1. we're still in Thailand. How fun.
Yeah.
Season 1, the synopsis is a web series that follows the lives of 6 diverse gay men in Bangkok. It's about their relationships, careers, family, and most of all, sexual health.
Yeah.
So this is like, out of all of them, like the most, like, we're trying to be realistic as well.
This is the realist.
Yeah, so we're trying to depict what being gay in Thailand basically is like.
An actual practice. It's not.
Yeah.
It's like without any fluff.
Yeah.
Without any
There's no fluff. There's no romance. There's not, like, it's literally it's real. Like these romances, but it is not romantic. I'm sorry. Like,
it's not romantic.
First of all, oh gosh. Okay. Firstly, I understand the I'm about to put in on something. I understand the depiction of realism completely, especially like I'm obviously like I have no place to speak as a person who's not gay in Thailand. So it's like I have no place to actually like give an opinion. So what was depicted, I'm like, okay, if this is your accurate depiction of it, that's fine. But what I didn't like about this depiction is that they showed just the bad.
I think the majority was just the bad,
which I feel like there should have been a little bit of just like, because at some point you're sitting there being like, is there no hope then? Is that what you're saying? They were playing it at some point. They were playing it as like, there's no hope. This is the life you have to do. The friendships, I'm sorry, will never be me in those friendships.
In season 1, the friendships did not make sense to me. They started making sense to me
in season 2.
But like in season 1, the main 2 characters, what are their names?
So yeah, flip up there.
I wanna speak about specifically Arm and who was it? Pom.
Why are they not at the top there?
I don't know. They're the main characters.
Arm and Pom, their friendship.
Their friendship to me, hard pass. It didn't make sense.
Even that reconciliation, I was like,
it didn't make sense because like the whole thing, right? Like Arm is an asshole. Arm. Through and through,
he's an asshole.
He's so self-serving.
Even he said it himself, but he's a bitch.
Yeah, he's a bitch. He's quite literally a bitch. Yeah, he's also a bitch.
Yeah, and he says that I'm just a bitch.
Exactly, and it's like,
no, but you a bitch.
Exactly, like you are a bitch. Like you can be a hoe.
Like you're a hoe. No, I don't care about his whole behaviors.
Like, but even so, your friend.
But
you are your friend, bro. He literally, bro.
Okay, basically, yeah. Let me explain for the people.
With Pom, right? Pom, it starts off with Pom having this crush on this man, and he's like, oh yeah, like I have a crush on him. He tells Arm about it. So he figures out a way to like I think it was Arm who even helped him out. Like figures out a way to like get to talk to him more and whatever. Arm, instead of being like, yo, let me be wingmanning here. Let me do my best to wingman. He slides his friend. He goes, like, literally after his friend that goes up and goes to the bathroom. I don't care how much chemistry you have with a person, you don't do this. After his friend gets up and goes to the bathroom, he stays there and starts kissing on this man.
He first starts the bullshit of like, oh, do you like, do you like,
and the guy's like,
yeah, he's like, do you like me? And the guy's like, nah. The guy doesn't really answer.
He doesn't really answer, and then just gives his vague answer.
Yeah, this is vague answer, like.
So he takes it as like, oh, this is my opening. And it's like,
you start kissing him, and it's like, listen, that's your friend. I'm sorry, in no way.
Even if you don't really care about this man, right? That is your friend.
That is your friend without it. Like, no matter how much chemistry you guys are,
exactly.
Like, at the very least, you need to start with talking with your friend first and being like, listen, I know you like this person.
Exactly.
But I'm one of you honest here. I'm feeling him too.
I'm feeling him.
And I think he's feeling me too.
Yeah,
I think there's a connection here. But no, he didn't do that. He just was like kissing him. And at this point, Ark is a hoe, right? Listen, Ark is a hoe. It's not even like he's kissing him because he's saying, I think I like him. It's just pure
like I just wanna fuck him.
Yeah. I think he's attractive and I want to fuck him. At this point, I thought he had a sex addiction because
I just was
top interviews to go like hook up with people. But hold on.
Like I thought I have a dick point.
I have a dick point. It's like, dude, hold it together. But like, yeah, snaking your friend, like to me, like, I don't know, snaking your friend is like, I'm sorry, like
he's a horrible friend.
Loyalty is a very big thing for me. I would have not forgiven you. I'm sorry. Even if the guy didn't like me too, like, I'm fine with that. But like, you could have came and told me, why did you do that? And then when you get back home, you start saying shit like, oh, you kicking me. It was okay. So boom, he was like, fuck the shit.
He was like, no,
I'm kicking you out.
Kicking you out of our apartment.
You're not a friend. Their friendship is very imbalanced. Like, it's not even just that, but like, is just generally selfish. He's a very selfish,
very self-serving.
Very self-serving, and it's not like he doesn't care for his friend, but his way of showing it, terrible. Like, he will always put himself first. I'm all for self-love and like putting yourself first before, like, I'm all for people who don't like sacrifice themselves in the name of helping other people, but he's way beyond. He was just an asshole. Like, he was straight up an asshole, and Bom at this point finally came to the realization that
maybe this is not the friendship.
They had to separate. I'm sorry. They had to separate.
Because, Jesus. But anyway, out of this entire friendship thing, right? So then then goes ahead and starts dating this guy. What was his name? Nat. Right? So he starts actually dating Nat, and it's a sweet relationship. I'm not gonna lie.
It is a sweet one.
They have good.
It's hard to root for them.
It's hard to
how it started.
But they are cute, right? And I have to say, keep in mind, Nat is the healthiest character out of everybody in this show.
Nat is the best one.
I'm sorry, the healthiest out of season 1. Like,
even in season 2, even when he was fucking up in season 2,
season 2 there's a better one. Nat's boyfriend is better in season 2.
Oh yeah,
Nat's
Nat's boyfriend. Oh yeah. Okay, so
spoiler that they break up.
I have to, because is really selfish, and it shows. Even
he doesn't know how to be in a relationship. He doesn't know how to handle himself in a relationship. So Nat basically calls him out, and he's like, I don't think you're ready for a relationship.
I don't think you're mature. Because he really isn't. He is not mature at all. Like, there's so many instances where why am I forgetting his name? Shows his immaturity.
Yeah.
It's not just the fact that he's a hoe and selfish. He's just immature in himself. There are times where he shows levels of maturity. So Nat is HIV positive in his drama, and he tells about it, of course. And the is like, no, I'm okay with that. It's fine. We can just put precautions in place for us. Not. I actually like that. I like that they have not demonized HIV. This drama, like I said in the synopsis, they speak about sexual health, which is something I do like about the drama as well. It's not just like nonsense for nonsense. Like, there is like those lessons about like, quote unquote, about sexual health, and actually healthy ways to go about
having an active sex life.
Another thing I like, I know we were speaking about the plot, but I just want to speak in general about the thing I like. Like in the synopsis saying, it's showing is it 3 couples or 3? Why am I saying 3? 6 diverse gay men, which it's showing like different kinds of gay men. Because like I said, in these BLs in general, sometimes they get like, not BLs, but in general with gay people, they get to be demonized in a sense where people think they're promiscuous, like they, gay men just go around having sex with other gay men at one time.
Called, I think, Arm out itself when he was like, you're the type of gay person who gets with that.
Yeah, you're the stereotype that
you're the stereotype.
Why do you need to go fucking around you?
Exactly.
Like, Carl could not keep it in his pants.
Bro.
Oh shit.
Yo.
Like, he thought half of Thailand, literally, like, to the point where, like, if his friends want to date someone, they're like, yeah, no, season 2. Yeah, it's maybe season 2. But I like the diverseness they showed of everyone. So we have Bom, who's a person who wants a traditional, normal relationship. He doesn't want to sleep around.
He's still a virgin.
He's like, I just want someone I have a connection with, and then I don't want to do hookups. Is the hoe that wants to do hookups. There's another couple here. It's Big and Off. How do you pronounce this?
It's Off.
Off?
Yeah, it's Off.
They also showing a different kind of relationship. I mean, there's a lot going. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot going on in this. It's very, very,
very diverse, and like the amount of different. It's very diverse and it's very real. And I think I have to say this, right? OK Bangkok. I think the first time I watched it, I didn't tell you about it. Like, I just watched it by myself. The second time I watched it was when you watched it the first time, right? I have to say that I think for me, OK Bangkok is the type of drama that, like, the more, like, the older I get, the more I appreciate it.
Me too.
Like, I think it's not for young audiences.
I also don't think it's like trying to even be a BL.
It's not a BL. It's literally just like not a BL in the traditional sense, right? It's very much like these are real. Like, these characters feel like somebody who could be your uncle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like very real. And even in their
They're not trying to romanticize.
they're not trying to romanticize anything.
Yeah.
And like be very,
Even the cute romantic relationship, they still like.
they're very real. They still have they like hiccups in there. They have their
I love hiccups.
exactly. They have their fights. There's a differences in personalities that come out. Like
None of the characters are perfect. All of them have some level of imperfection. Even the the characters who were like, oh, those characters great. Like, oh, what you call this Nats? Like, he's like the better one of them all. He's still also not completely perfect. He also does things where I'm like, dude, no.
what the hell?
Like, I'm sorry. Like, listen, as much as Arm was being like a bit of a hoe with the whole thing of Nat talking to his ex-boyfriend. Like,
Yeah.
in Arm's defense, I'm sorry. Do not talk to your ex-partner,
Bro,
I'm sorry, like especially like he was it's just the way he was communicating it was not the one. Like it was a bad way to communicate it, but it was justifiable because Nat was out here going out to have talks with him, comforting him, and it was like, dude, no, but you guys are ex-partners. Like I know you keep saying he's your friend, that's fair, but you guys have
before. Yeah, you make
they said they were together for 7 years. Like, oh, I'm sorry, like I'm uncomfortable. So in that sense, like, and Nat wasn't understanding that. Nat was like, no, like he's my friend. In that sense, he was not perfect.
He was not perfect,
But yeah,
he was not recognizing how maybe Arm could be perceiving this entire thing.
yeah. At what point did he? In his mind, he was like, no, he's my friend, and you sing it in any other way, it's your business.
It's your business. But then he did ultimately come to confess, okay, maybe I was in the wrong.
The loss of
but they ended up breaking up. But this is when like my relationship between Arm and Paul did not make sense for me in this first season. The way that they made up, plus they made up off camera.
Yeah.
So we didn't get to see them have that conversation of, friend, you know I'm insecure. You know that I dog on my looks all the time. And you were just ruining my chances with people that I like vibe with. Like, you can't keep doing that. You can't. And they never had that. They never had that conversation.
Or even the conversation of the fact that even in my most, that's what you threw at me in our text. You threw at the fact that, oh, like
you know, I should judge you.
Yeah, and that's not okay.
Like, you can't do that as my friend.
He literally, the reconciliation was that Arm is now broken up with Nat. He has nowhere to go. So he calls up Form and he's like, hi, I'm outside. Yeah. And then now they're good again. And it's like, no. Their thing was misery loves misery.
Misery loves company.
Yeah, misery. Yeah, that's what for sure. Misery loves company. Misery loves company, and that's literally it. That was their friendship in season 1. I was like, no, you guys are only together because you have lost your partner. That if you didn't break up with him, you would have never reconciled.
Yeah.
And then when you
are very insecure. Just very
insecurity. If you were confident, you would know you deserve better.
You would have broken up your friendship with him a long time.
Yeah, because you were like, I deserve way better. I'm sorry, it would never be me. I don't like, there's this thing on TikTok of people saying like, I would never say that would never be me.
Yeah.
I also would never say that because I don't want to be caught out saying
I would never go. I would never be. But with
friendships but with friendship I will stick by it. That would never be me.
Yeah, same.
I'm sorry. With relationships, maybe,
but with friendships, you know,
I'm sorry. I take friendships way more seriously than relationships. That's the thing.
If you cross a boundary in a friendship,
I can't come back. I'm sorry, I can't be done.
It's done.
Because that is a different kind of heartbreak. I'm sorry. Like, it's one
friendships hit deeper.
Because my partner is my partner, sure. But like with friendships, I'm literally, I tell you everything.
You know everything about me.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
No one will know my insecurities better than you. I'm sorry.
Deadass.
No.
Deadass.
Where is she going? Okay, Bangkok.
No, we need to also talk about.
I want to talk about another thing.
Often big.
Oh yeah,
often big.
Why not forget about work,
right? Oh, Satan in this one, she didn't really have as much of like.
Yeah, in season 1,
there was not really much about her. But Off and Big's arc, I think, was the most frustrating one in season 1 because they go from breaking up. Off all of a sudden is like, oh yeah, no, I'm finding myself. Big goes and does his whole ways because he's being cheated. Like, it was the reason why they broke up is because he was cheating.
Big's thing was that I met you when I was
I was still young.
I was still young.
I'm still
not early 20. I think he made when the teenager, but another. I think that and that was his first time. He was saying like, my first time was with you. The only person I've been with is you. So instead of talking about that with you, I decided to cheat on the side and then get mad at you and be like, oh, I wanted to explain.
Exactly.
People need to learn communication. That's a big thing in this that a lot of people lack.
They don't know. They don't talk. But he
cheated and then off knows his value. He was like, get the fuck out, leave. And then
he gets into an actually good relationship.
Yeah, an actual normal one.
I know the person was also taking care of him.
Yeah.
But Off's whole thing is the fact that he doesn't think he's valuable if he's not taking care of the other person.
Yeah.
He derives value from taking care of the other person, right? So he ends up ruining that relationship because he can't stand the idea of being taken care of. And then Big is out here back because
first Big's the whole thing. Big was being a hoe in the streets, right? He was going around speaking with people, while at the same time he still wants that love and affection that Off was giving him. So he's still around with these people, and then he still wants that aftercare. But these people are like, no, just looking out
my house.
And that's when he finally gets to the realization, I had a really good thing here. Like he was actually taking care of me. So then he comes back to Off, and
that's when Off takes him back.
And I was like, no, Off.
This still love yourself. This still the most frustrating arc for me. I was like, break up. Hey, just break up with it. Break up. Just break up. You can do better. You don't need it.
Yeah, you really don't need this.
It was
literally Big literally only came back because he was like, oh, turns out I'm the asshole.
Exactly.
Turns out that I had a good thing with that guy.
And I ruined it.
Because he literally was taking care of everything. Like he was taking care of his bills, taking care of everything. Like he literally had to do nothing but exist, and Off was taking care of him. And then now when he goes out to the real world where he wants to fuck people, he expects that from other people.
Exactly.
He expects, after we fuck, I'm still going to be treated like a prince. But that doesn't happen. So he goes crawling back to Off. And I thought at first Off was going to stand his ground and say, I thought Off was going to say, it's fine. You can have a place to stay or whatever, but I'm not getting back together with you. No, they get back together.
Bro, I remember the first time I watched it, I threw my shoe. I threw my shoe across the room and I was like, fuck this shit. What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry. I think it even needs touch-ups.
Oh, the thing is, right, looking at it in relation to, I don't need touch-ups.
I want to give credence to the fact that it's realistic. It's depicting actual.
That's my thing. Like, look at it through the lens of what they wanted to achieve.
Yeah,
I don't think it's B. I think it's an A. Actually, I think it's very good.
Because I hate those characters.
I don't think I'm meant to like them.
That's right. I don't think they were actually trying.
They were not trying to say us, like, all these characters operate in a very grey area, right?
And to be fair, they're very self-aware.
They're very self-aware.
All these characters will say, I'm first. Like, Alm knows he's a bitch.
Because even with Paul, even though we didn't really say anything about Paul was very much acting out of, like, a lot of insecurity himself. He's not flawless either.
Really not.
Like, no one was flawless in the show.
He was also jealous of Arm.
He was very jealous. And that's part of why he kept, like, Arm as such a close friend.
Yeah, because he
wanted to become here. So it was like, you yourself put yourself in this situation now. Like, come on now. Come on.
Okay, I guess very good. I just think the friendships are all trash.
They are trash. Like, but the main thing that I would only change the making up off camera thing, because I would have loved to see why did they have to shoot. Yeah. Even though I'm frustrated with the storyline, given the intention of the show, I think they did what they wanted to do.
A tier, very good.
A tier, very good. So now I'm moving on to season 2 of the same show.
I was like, what are we gonna do? Okay, the second season of the web series, now in 7 chapters, it was 7 episodes, continues to follow the lives of 6 different gay men living in Thailand. The web series seeks to explore the relationships, careers, family, and everything that involves the lives of these people. Basically the same thing, but we're just going further.
I will start off by saying that season 2, I feel like, was executed better, and I'm not sure if it's because they had more episodes or if it's because they just showed a little bit more deeper insight into the characters.
I need to say that I think it was to be fair, I think season 2 was helped by season 1 because
That's true.
Because the season 1 was basically like foundation. Like, okay, these are the characters we're introducing there. Season 2 had the ability then to go into depth because of season 1.
That's true.
So I think the reason why season 2 was better in execution is not the length necessarily, but because
it's because of the fact that they didn't have to love all this.
Yeah, we didn't have to get this backstory of the friendships and everything.
True.
It was now, okay, you get the relationships and everything. Now we're doing individuals. Now we're like, as an individual, because season 1 was a lot about relationships. It was a lot, even if there was individualism that they were discussing,
it was really discussing the actual individuals. It was discussing more the relationships,
and that's what season 2 did better. It's like, okay, now we're talking about the person as they are. This is why the reason they are.
These are the insecurities. These are the things that the shortcomings are, and all of that. They did that as individuals, and I really appreciated that because I think
there's much more growth.
There was much more growth.
Season 1 doesn't have that much growth. It just seems like things are happening, and then people are like, "All right, let's reconcile."
That's true.
Whereas season 2, like the thing, like the
each one of the one episode.
Yeah, I think I think so as well.
Everybody got an episode where it was like focusing solely on that character. It was still moving the story along, of course, but the greater story. But like everybody had an episode that was dedicated to them as individual. And this is the season where I would personally say that Fong and Arm's relationship or friendship made sense to me. This is the first time it made sense. Yeah. Because I was like, it didn't make sense. I was like, why are you guys friends? But like in season 2, you get to see that no. It's because both of them are very insecure. Yeah. Both of them, like, it's just the fact that they show that insecurity in very, very different ways, right? So whereas in Fong's insecurity, he becomes self-depreciating and he seeks validation, sure, but he doesn't seek it in the same way that Arm does, right? So Arm, instead of seeking like what he actually wants, which is intimacy, we get to see throughout the show that he's like actually craving for an actual relationship, right?
Despite saying, I'm having a hoe, I'm having in the street.
He actually wants that emotional intimacy, and he's just so insecure that he can't actually verbalize it. He doesn't have the capability to come out and say, hey, I want a relationship and I want to be held sometimes, and I just want to be like loved in the same way that everybody else seems to be getting loved. He doesn't have the capability of doing that. Instead, he thinks that he's only good for fucking around with. Yeah. So he keeps seeking these things in all these like hookups, basically.
But he has this toxic streak. Oh my god! And when Arm falls in, then he has this toxic streak of not just like self-sabotaging his own self, but he has this thing of wanting to sabotage other people's relationships as well.
Misery loves company.
He looks
at the definition of it.
Literally, he'll look at somebody being happy. Like there were 2 scenes in particular. One scene, they were in the club and he saw Boom talking to his now boyfriend.
Yeah.
And then he was staring them down. And then at some point, the almost literally clicks him. He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna ruin it." And it took fucking Satan. That's not her name, right?
Yeah.
Going and being like, I can see what you're trying to do. No, stop. And he was like, "What you talking about?" And he was like, "I know you, friend. I know you. Stop it. Stop." And he was like, "All right, shit, all right, I'll stop." But he was ready to go over there to do what he normally does.
Yeah.
Which is sabotage whatever thing he kind of happiness. Even at some point, he saw a couple clubbing in hang out in the club. And then he found one of the guys attractive and he was like, "I'm going to get into that."
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, but they're in a relationship." And he was like, "That's none of my business."
And he doesn't care.
He does not care. He didn't. He tried to get in there. He's got it
not successful even.
Yeah, because he's an
attractive person. But he doesn't know how to have an actual intimate relationship with one person because of multiple things. Like he's just the definition of misery loves company. He's like going through this whole thing with like, we find out later he has mommy issues. Yeah, and that's why big mommy issues, and that's why he can't do this. Which they are in, like they dealt with by the end.
I love that.
He grew so much.
But he did, and I loved at the end, and I was obviously those little spoilers on, but like at the end, he doesn't actually end up in a relationship at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that for him because like that's what I'm saying. This is not BLs. I mean, it's not the conventional BLs that you watch. They're not trying to give you happy endings. They're not trying to like romanticize whatever's going on. It's the realistic. It's like. In the realistic world, Arm doesn't get a happy ending. That's fair enough because he's still now finding himself and learning about himself. This entire time he's been holding himself around. He has to actually be like, what, like, who am I
as a person?
What am I doing? He needed that. If you got into a relationship at the end, it would have been weird. No.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's whole Arm's arc.
That's Armin. Yeah.
Arm ends up in a relationship himself. It's with Arm's ex, of course, because Arm has fucked the half of Thailand. But this is where I think the fundamental difference between Bom and Arm comes up. Bom went and told Arm before he got with his ex.
Yeah.
Right. They got together, but he still had that moment of, I need to tell my friend.
Yeah, because I respect exactly. Like we're not saying that in this world you're not gonna find the same person attractive as your friend, but you need to talk to them.
You need to talk to your friend. So, and not only did he tell him, but he was absolutely terrified, even leading up to telling him. He was like, "Yo, I might ruin my friendship," and I'm like, Call back to season 1. Remember how he
and also I need to also like, it's not like but in a relationship with this guy, it's a guy that he was just fucking
yeah.
But like a it wasn't like a relationship where they dated or
it super serious.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like that.
They did lasted for like 2 months.
Yeah, it wasn't anything crazy. So it comparatively, like, Bong didn't need to be that way, but
I know I value my friend and I don't want to make my friend feel ostracized, so I need to talk to him. I'm scared, but I need to.
And that is the very same person that all wanted to now in season 2 wanted to destroy the friendship.
Literally,
like the other friends are time to be like, no,
don't do it.
Man, he's like a bomb waiting to happen. I can't be friends with a person like that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I understand brings them together as friends. Like, what is it that made them have this, like, oh, I need you, you need me.
Just having this deep insecurity.
Yeah, and then they mirror at each other like, okay, you have what I want, I have what I want.
Yeah.
Still, could never be me.
The same.
Constantly sabotaging me in the background. Every time you feel miserable,
every time you're miserable, I must also be miserable.
But me, the first thing I think of is, oh, what is my friend gonna think if I do this? Like, I thought
prioritizing. I just don't understand this friendship, to be entirely honest.
That group was some mess.
The only time where I was like, okay, maybe I can see some semblance of why your friendship works was when Arm went and talked to Bom's boyfriend. Because Bom's boyfriend did try to like sabotage the relationship because he's in constant competition. He's a very competitive person. And he kept like having a jealousy streak for Bom because Bom, mind you, he's flourishing at this point. Like he's
successful,
getting promotion, he's getting money, he's getting clients, he's killing the game, right? But the boyfriend that he ends up getting with, he has a streak of consistently wanting to be the better one in the relationship.
Yeah.
So he kind of suffers from the same thing that Off does, where he doesn't know how to be the one who's kind of the one who's being taken care of, or the one who is not doing the best in the relationship. He doesn't know how to be, quote unquote, the one who needs the other person. So he kind of sabotages his relationship. All picks up on exactly why it happened because he knows this person. So he's like, yo, don't ruin this relationship in the way that you ruined ours. He's like, I deserved it because I'm a bad person.
I'm a bad person, but
Bom doesn't. Bom is a good person. So if you really do care about him, please go talk to him and resolve it. Because
tell him why you're doing what you're doing. Bom doesn't really understand why you're pulling away from him.
Exactly.
Bom is resorting back to his own insecurities on I'm not good enough and all that stuff. But it's like, no, go talk to my friend. Tell him this is how you're feeling and why you're feeling this way and resolve that shit.
Exactly. This is where I was like, you know what? That was the first indication of character growth for me.
Yeah.
And then even at the end when that guy was like, oh, do you want to hook up again? He was like, no. Next time you call me, you better be actually single.
Yeah.
He's basically like, I want better for myself. I don't need to be this.
I don't have to keep doing this.
Even like him making up with his mom and everything. Arm had the best great character growth.
I agree. I feel like he went from the shittiest character to his growth.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the whole arc between those two. We have Big and Off as well, where with Big and Off, they end up as a throuple by the end.
Very interesting.
It's like one of those situations where it's like, Off cheating had a bigger impact on Big than Big thought that it did, right? So when they get back together, he doesn't want to be as intimate anymore. Also, it's not just the impact, it's also the age thing. That's where it starts popping up, because they start prioritizing different types of intimacy, right?
Yeah.
Where Big still wants to be like, my intimacy comes through a form of sex. I want to consistently be having sex. Off's like, no, I've grown past my sex stage.
Yeah, I just want that.
I just want that. Yeah, like I just want, that's my form of intimacy right now. So they end up having like a threesome, end up in a throuple. But even in that throuple, now Off is starting to feel a little bit pushed out of the relationship. Big starts feeling pushed out of the relationship a little bit. But he also acknowledges that I kind of don't really have a right to
say anything,
because I'm the one who made this happen.
I'm the one. I got us here.
I got us here because I, first of all, the one who cheated. Second of all, I'm the one who made you not want to have sex with me anymore. Cheated, right? I'm the one who suggested that we have. I'm the one who even brought this person.
The person you were like, you were joining this throuple.
He'll join us and have this threesome, and we'll be a throuple. So he's like, Big for the first time is experiencing selfless love, because he's like, I still want to be with Off, right? But I also want Off to be happy. And I do like the conversation that Big and Off ended up having in regards to that, where like Off was like, hey, I don't want to leave you, but I'm not fully satisfied with you. And I don't necessarily know where I stand with us. And I love that conversation so much, because I was like, finally you're wanting better for yourself. Finally, Rush.
There was a lot of growth in season 2. It needed to happen.
Yeah.
Because season 1, I mean, the way it left off, it was kind of like, okay. Like season 1 was literally like, alright, so season, like, no one gets happy. Like, it's literally like season 1
is just happy.
Like, it's pointless in life, apparently.
Exactly.
Like, season 2, at least, like, they showed, I don't know, a whole different side. I loved it.
Even Satang has a boyfriend now.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not a boyfriend. It kind of was alluded to that they might be, I think they're vibing.
They're talking.
They're talking, because she even comes up and she's like, hey, yo, guy. So, I lied. I'm a virgin.
I'm not hooked up with
anyone. This is the shallow world that we live in. Nobody finds me attractive, and I don't know what to do. Like, I'm not attractive like you guys. I was dying to touch on about how feeling like this.
Yeah, and I'm deeply
insecure, and I've been covering it up this entire time. They even have, like, she even has a whole confrontation with one of her girlfriends, because she pranks her by like giving her flowers, and it's a whole thing. But at the end, she also has her epic ending. The one straight woman in this thing, I like the fact that they had her arc of like insecurity, like going back to the same person over and over again.
Boyfriend that is, I think, they just in a toxic relationship. It's clearly a bad situation. And it took a lot for her to actually step away from that. Like, it's like we see throughout this, because she wasn't in season 1. Throughout the whole of season 2, you see her continually repeat the same cycle over and over and over. Like, what's it gonna take for the cycle to be broken? I love that the thing that actually helped was like friendship, because like I said, the friendships in this not my cup of tea. So to have the friend in season 1 mainly, season 2, the friendships really take a step up, because like, it took a friend being like, no, we're not going to let you repeat the cycle. Like, you clearly can't handle this on your own. We're going to be here for you. Listen, friend, I'm not letting you go back to the
If you go back to him, our friendship is over.
And she chose her friends, and I love that. I don't know. There's just a lot more depth in the season comparatively. And by the way, also Satang is oh my god, a translation. You okay? He's a trans lady in this, which we don't often get in BLs in general. And when we do, they tend to be on like just the comical side, the part of the joke. There were times in this where she was, but that wasn't what she was completely. It was the thing of like,
she was a complex character.
She was a complex character, and I love that. It's like, she had her funny jokes and blah blah. She was the light-hearted whatever, but they still gave depth to her as a person. That just not just this one-dimensional making jokes or whatever. And I appreciated that. And so even giving her the opportunity to also, because they also typically don't give partners or relationships. It's just like they never get. So for her to, like we said, we don't know if they actually got together. It was alluded to. But the fact that there was somebody out there that found her interesting. They were talking. At the end, I know they met up. there was a scene where they met up. They were doing a long distance thing for fits, like a while.
They met up in Bangkok because she said that if you ever like get to Bangkok, I will show you around. And that was the promise fulfillment of that, I guess.
Yeah, and then they met, and it's like I thought that was I really really like that because it's not something you often see. That's in else. It really isn't
True.
So yeah. Now Nat and his boyfriend.
Nat. Okay, let's start with Nat's boyfriend. Nat's boyfriend, amazing. Loved him.
10 out of 10. Like
10 out of 10.
Like, how can you be perfect?
Literally. Because even when they were like having their own hang-ups and they fights and whatever, he's such a good boyfriend. I can't even like.
I think so too. Like
He's amazing.
I don't think it gets better than that.
I don't think he gets better than that either. He's actually a really fucking good boy.
He really is. Like I was like, man, you're lucky.
Because keep in mind, with Nat, his brother did end up his little brother ended up coming back, coming to Bangkok.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole thing. Summary on it basically is that Nat
that goes on in OK Bangkok in general, but season 2 in particular, there's a lot that's good.
There's a lot. But summary basically is just that Nat is being hard on his little brother because he sees his little brother as his younger self because of the fact that the reason why he got HIV is because he got he got to Bangkok first time and was completely reckless. He's like, I'm gonna live my best life, and he doesn't want that for his little brother because he also finds out that his little brother is also gay. So he's like,
immediately fear
took over. He's becoming really hard on him. They don't have a really intimate bond, but the little brother is able to turn towards Nat's boyfriend because he's a safer space. What is his name?
I think it's Min.
Yeah, Min. Yeah, it's Min.
Actually, you're right. Yeah.
So he turns to Min and he's like, hey, even though I can't find a safe space with my brother, I can at least call my brother's boyfriend. Min is actually a good person as well. Min helps him out because there's a whole incident where he did having
Min is amazing because Min not only helped him out, but he understood in times where it's like, okay, this is something I'll keep between us and things that I have to tell your brother. Even because at some point, the brother does have unprotected for his first time.
It was his first time.
He has unprotected sex. My God.
Yeah, English
is hard. It's not my first language. English is not my first language. Oh, but what you call this? So, the first person he goes to, at least the brother was responsible enough to be like, I'm gonna have to go to somebody and he'll go to the hospital and he'll get on medication. But the first person he goes to is Min because he feels like he can't go to his brother. And he says to Min, this is what happened, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. And Min comforts him, helps him out, gives him advice, all that jazz. But Min also recognizes that this is something Nat has to know.
I can't keep it between us because even though the little brother is like, hey, keep it between us, Nat's like, nah.
You are still a youngin'. That is your older brother. He has to know. There's no ways he's not gonna know, especially something like this. It's something serious. And he tells his boyfriend, he's like, listen, calm the fuck down. Calm down.
Don't blow yourself up.
But I have something to tell you. Tells him. Nat does blow up. He does freak out because it is his fear. It's like, oh my gosh,
my worst fear is coming true.
Yeah, and so he blows up at the brother. It's a whole thing. But I do love that they finally came together at the end because Nat finally opened up to his brother and said, listen, the reason I'm like this with you is because listen, I'm HIV positive and I'm seeing you slowly fall into the steps that I did. I'm slowly seeing you make the same mistakes I did, and I can't watch that happen. It breaks my heart. That's why I'm so hard on you. I probably should have just told you this and guided you and not being, because he just immediately went into strict mode. Instead of explaining the reason.
That's why Nat's big hang up. He doesn't know how to be the vulnerable person. He knows how to be a caretaker. He doesn't know how to be taken care of. Then that's part of how he even navigates his relationship with Min, because every single time Min is like, hey, I'm willing to give up my savings for you. Hey, let's do this together. Let's talk about finances. He doesn't know how to properly internalize that all the time. So it ends up at some point even as a fight between them. It's just he's the healthiest in season 1, but in season 2, although he's still comparatively healthy, Min is the ultimate healthy. Because even when it comes to the conversation of that whole conversation about finance and stuff, he was the one who was like, no, we're grown. We need to actually like discuss this.
Yeah, I we can't just say, oh, I'm giving you money. These are my life savings. We need to discuss if it's a loan, if it's an investment. What is the situation? So when we come out of this, regardless of what happens, we're both sorted. It's not going to be an issue. I love that. I was like, and I think he's like, yeah, he's the younger one.
He's the younger one of the two, but the way that he handles everything,
he's just mature.
He's very mature.
Like maturity was showing there for sure.
The least mature thing about him, I would say, which I think I really do appreciate that they handled this aspect of it. The whole feminization of bottoms, like perceiving bottoms as a fade less manly because they're bottoms, and as a result they deserve less respect.
Even the whole thing of like, even it's not the flip side. Same side of the point. Where he was like, just because I am more feminine than you are, then I'm said and I am smaller, doesn't mean that I also should be perceived. People should think that I am the bottom.
Exactly.
Like in either way, it should. On both sides, just because I'm feminine doesn't mean I should be the bottom, and just because I'm the bottom doesn't mean I should be feminine.
Exactly.
It's just like that. I like that.
And it also like doesn't mean that I deserve any less respect as a man. Like I'm still a man. You know what I mean? I keep and love that whole arc.
I love that whole conversation, because then even like, all right, then you can top me.
Like if you want to, you can top me, and maybe not tonight because I'm tired.
And then the other person's like,
I have energy. We can go for it. Just do what I do.
I really did like that cut because their communication was really great.
They were the one couple where I would confidently say from start to end I was rooting for them. Yeah, I wanted them to end up.
The other people, I was like, you guys should meet.
Same.
Maybe take a break. Maybe step away for a bit.
So you're ranking her now.
She's definitely better. I think she goes to superior. She's definitely better than
that is true.
I mean, it's not a perfect drama by any means.
It's not perfect drama. It's not meant to be perfect.
It isn't trying to be. Yeah,
exactly.
That's why I think we should go into superior for sure.
Superior it is then.
The funny thing is, like, Gabs and I had to like rewatch these preparation.
Yeah,
and so in rewatching season 1 and season 2 of OK Bangkok, Gabs and I had like no fucking memory of season 2.
We remembered season 1 to a T. But
I think we remember things that piss us off.
That's the thing.
Because season 2 is better. I think
season 2 is better, but like we blanked.
Like when it comes to things that I'm like, what the fuck was that?
I will remember it. I will remember it from start to finish. I will remember all the small details. I will remember all the small signs.
Where I was when it happened.
Exactly. Which room I was in, which position I was sitting in. I remember everything. But with the ones that I'm like, this is comparatively good, no, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna forget.
Oh, that brings us to the end of this episode.
Did us? And we've been recording for almost 2 hours.
Wow, my God, wow, this is the longest.
This is the longest one.
I guess there's a lot to say. I mean, like,
that's true.
Yeah,
I think with this one, it's just because of the fact that like it is heavier. So
it's heavier.
We can't just joke about like it's heavy.
We do crack jokes.
We do crack jokes, not with this episode. We will start cracking jokes maybe with the next one again.
Yeah, come back for fun. Maybe.
No. Okay. Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, back to watching, y'all. Once again,
thanks for tuning in, because they're also the listeners.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. Right. Thanks for tuning in. I don't know where you watch listening. I don't know when you're tuning in. It could be YouTube or Spotify or Amazon or any other. We are on just about everything. We're not on Apple Music.
We're not. No.
We're not on there.
It's too much effort.
Too much effort. We also have a TikTok that you can go check out.
Twitter.
We have a Twitter. You know, we can interact. You can interact with us on various platforms.
Yeah.
And you can also voice your opinion.
Yeah.
We're very open to other people's opinions, and
maybe we didn't mention something
that you would like to mention, or like you don't agree with our ranking. You can say so. I don't think I agree, and that will be fine too.
Yeah. Bye.